Welcome back to Central News. I'm Janelle Burnside. Now, gallstone problems are said to be very, very painful, but are they preventable, and who is more likely to get them? Well, joining me now from Bay Naturopath is Jaine Kirtley. Welcome to the show, Jaine.
Thank you.
Now, I mean, gallstones, it's becoming quite popular, I suppose, in a sense that people are getting gallstones. I mean, how do you get them?
Well, they build up over time, and if you eat a poor diet, you've got a much higher likelihood of getting them. So if you have a poor diet over a number of years, then they're going to build up. But they're even seen in fairly young people in their 20s can still get gallstones. Yeah.
See, that's interesting. I didn't think it was from diet. I honestly thought it was just luck of the draw, that's just what you got.
Well, like anything with poor health, it's how we look after our bodies, and it's our foundations to it. So it's a bit more than luck of the draw. It used to be years ago that you'd say the typical gallstone sufferer would be fair, fat and 40, and a woman as well. So, but now, much younger, can be men. You know, you don't have to be fair-skinned and or fair-haired, so it could be anybody that gets it.
Yeah, because I know a friend of mine, she's in her 20s, and she's got one, and she says how painful it is. It's quite painful for some.
Definitely painful. It has sort of a nagging pain. Sometimes people just get early on a bit of nausea, generally unwell, a little bit of a nagging pain. But the gallbladder is quite a small organ, and the bile is stored in there, and as it's released in response to fats in the diet, it goes out a little thin tube, the bile duct. If it gets caught, if a gallstone gets caught in that bile duct, it can cause it to go into spasm, and that's really, really painful. I mean, even people have compared that to labour pains. Even men say it's like labour pains, but, you know, but really painful. Yeah, so definitely something you want to avoid. Yeah,
and it is something preventable, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly. Definitely people who are overweight or inactive will have much higher risk of getting gallstones. There's two different types of gallstones. Just say here, most people have a softer gallstones. There are some more unusual, rarer causes, but generally the cause is poor diet, so eating the wrong types of fats, those overly processed fats, overheated fats, high sugars, alcohol, definitely all make the person more susceptible to having gallstones.
And it's over a long period of time, isn't it?
Yeah, they build up over time, and they form, and they get sort of bigger, and or maybe multiple. It can be just sort of lots and lots of little bits of what's called sludge, technically, and it just really just looks like that. It fills up the gallbladder, and nevertheless causes that pain and stops the gallbladder working properly.
So how do you know? I mean, is there warning signs that you're getting one?
There's more sort of a nagging pains inside. It could be a severe pain. It's really only properly identified by an ultrasound. So that's the only way you're really going to say definitively whether you actually got them or not.
Early detection is the key. I mean, if you...
Yes, early detection, and then you can do something about it. There's a lot of natural approaches, when definitely prevention is always the best thing, so avoiding all those foods that I've talked about that can help you get them, but having more vegetables, fruits in the diet, definitely. People who eat nuts are less likely to have gallstones. So that's another thing. Yeah, the good fats. And definitely people having the good quality fats, like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, all the cold pressed oils. So it's not just fat in the diet that's going to cause it, it's the poor quality fats. So those good quality fats, they're the ones to aim for.
Definitely have. Is it always surgery you need to get rid of them, or you can do it naturally?
You can do it naturally. There are a lot of herbs that help to support the gallbladder, to take the inflammation down and help break down the gallstones, so they can help. But there's a naturopathic treatment, a gallbladder flush, it's called. It's quite an involved procedure. It's not pleasant, but then again, neither is surgery. Surgery is really unpleasant and carries a lot of risk with surgery, whereas the gallbladder flush doesn't carry risk, but it must be done properly. So you always need to see a naturopath before you sort of think of embarking on it. There's a way to do it properly and a way to do it effectively, and that literally it flushes out the gallstones, and you can see if you flush them out if you care to look.
I don't think I want to have
Some people are interested to see, did this work or didn't it? But yeah, it definitely works, and I've used that for a lot of people, guided them through using a gallbladder flush, and not a pleasant procedure, but it stopped them having surgery, which puts the surgery puts them at greater risk in all other way. And so the sake of doing a few days of really going through this intensive procedure, and then you're pain free, and you've got rid of the problem. Well, look, it's worth it.
And then I think you would realise how important it is to eat properly.
Absolutely.
And to get those good fats in your diet.
Yeah. And eating the good foods and keeping off the alcohol, that really, all those things that aggravate it, keeping more active. You know, studies showing that people are just generally more active, maybe don't have a desk job or sitting a down job, and they are less likely to get gallstones. So we're finding it a lot. In the last 10 years, there's been a build-up of research just showing how much the research and the diet and activity is. And definitely there's some nutrients like vitamin C, very important. Folic acid, very important, magnesium, calcium, all important to prevent those gallstones.
From forming and happening. Do you find with your patients who have had gallstones, I mean, they've changed their whole mindset on how they're having their diet?
Yeah, it's a great motivator.
Yeah,
because it really is a horrible pain, and people are willing to, you know, okay, they'll go through the procedures to get rid of them, go through the gallbladder flush, and just say, look, I'm not going to have that again. You know, so they're really motivated to look after the diet. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, it is quite scary. And I always thought it was for the older generation. You know, I didn't think it was people in their 20s.
No, definitely now, and we're seeing it. Now I've seen people definitely in their early 20s that also have gallstones. So yeah, it can happen at any age. And quite often you've got them quite early on. Even in your teens, you might have them. But they build up, and they might not be a problem in that you're not getting any pain, so you don't know. But then 10 years down the track, you get this horrendous pain, and you think, oh my gosh, I've got to do something about it. And and that might be emergency surgery needed, which you want to avoid.
But
that.
Never too late to do something about it? Never too late?
Never too late to do something about it, but not everyone should do a gallbladder flush. It depends on the size of the stone. If there's a very, very large hard stone, because it's harder stones and soft stones, very, very large hard stone, that might not be a good idea to do. So that's, again, this is why you need a bit of advice and guidance, just to check that everything's all right, and that you can go ahead and do it.
Yeah, see your naturopath first. Now, Jaine, you stay there because you're coming back after the break. We're taking a look at Christmas indulgence and overdoing it over Christmas time. Stick with us after the break.